This week, I'm going to lead you through a yoga practice for when you are tired. So we might have days and moments when we want to do some gentle movement, we want to do some yoga, but we're feeling really low on energy. So this is the practice for those moments. Let's get started. For this week's practice, a few props would be quite nice. If you have any pillows, cushions somewhere nearby, or maybe a yoga bolster, bring your yoga bolster here, and maybe a block as well. Lots of small props might be helpful so that when we go through the practice, you can use those small props where and when needed. But a big bolster would be really helpful as well. And then when you are ready, bring yourself to lie down on the back. We're going to start from lying down and find any easy pose where you feel you could take a moment, just checking in, noticing how you really feel now. You could extend your legs, so this could be a Shavasana pose, or you could leave your knees bent. If you have those pillows, cushions, maybe a bolster there, you could also bring some propping under the legs. That might make the pose more comfortable. Let your arms, let your hands rest in a place that's easy for your shoulders. And you could close your eyes. Of course, if you feel that you might fall asleep when you close your eyes, then you are very welcome to keep your eyes open as well. Just let yourself feel heavy. Let the mat, let the floor support your weight. And let yourself just be. There's nowhere to go right now, nothing else to do. So let yourself be in this moment. If you are feeling tired, then just acknowledge that. Become aware of how you feel. But do this without any judgment. There are moments when we all feel tired, and that's very okay. So let yourself feel tired. Let yourself become aware of that feeling and also notice how it feels in your body. Notice your natural breath. Flowing in, flowing out. And let yourself find ease in your breath as well. We'll spend another few breaths here in this resting pose before we continue into some movement. And throughout the practice, stay aware, stay mindful of how you feel, and if there are any poses, any movements that you want to skip, or any adjustments you want to make, then let yourself follow the sensations in your body and do what feels best for you today. Also, at any point, you might come back to this resting pose. If you feel that you'd be ready to gently start moving the body, and still staying lying down, bend your knees, step your feet on the mat. And you could open arms a bit wider apart. Could be a gentle T shape or a cactus shape in the arms. And then start to swing the legs from side to side. windshield wipers movement. This could be a very slow movement. There's no need to rush. You can let your legs stay heavy. Allow the whole pelvis to rock from side to side. And maybe there's some twisting coming up along your spine. Notice that you are still breathing. Notice that gentle rhythm in your own breath. And then with your next couple of breaths, bring your knees to the right side of your mat. And we're going to stay in this twist for about 5 breaths. And you decide if you want to keep your legs wide apart, or if it would be better for your twist to bring the left leg on top of the right. Let yourself adjust where the legs are, where the arms are. Maybe you want to bring arms higher up or lower down. Find a shape where there's no pain. There might be sensations of a stretch. There might even be some discomfort, but make sure there's no pain. Let yourself find an edge where your body could still stay rather soft, rather heavy, and where it's easy to breathe. Notice a couple more breaths, sliding down and up along the spine, maybe all the way down towards the pelvis, and then back up towards the shoulders. And then after those couple of breaths, slowly in your own time, bring your legs, your knees back up to center. And then let your legs lean down towards the left side of the mat. You might move the pelvis slightly to the right. And again, legs could be wider apart. They could be on top of each other. You might open arms further out or move them higher up or lower down. On the second side, this twist might look different. You might feel this more around the hips, along the spine, or maybe around the shoulders. And leave space for the breaths. Give yourself another couple of breaths in your twist. And then after those couple of breaths, leave your legs where they are and slowly close the chest so you curl onto your left side and press down through the right hand to bring yourself up onto all fours, onto hands and knees. If you need any cushioning under the knees here, you can bring a cushion, bring something soft under your knees. We're going to stay on our knees for a moment, starting with some gentle movement first, just circling the weight from hands to knees, from knees to hands, looking for some movement in the shoulder joints, in the hip joints. They are ball and socket joints, so let those balls circle in their sockets, and you could change direction. Go a few times the other way around. Keep the neck soft, keep the shoulders soft. And then find your weight to center. And we're going to go into thread the needle. So here, extend your right leg out to the side, to the right side of the mat, and just a few times rock the weight forward and back. You can still adjust where that right leg is. And then we're going to leave the right hand down on the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm up. So first, twist out to the left. And then exhale, slide your left arm under the right, leaning your left shoulder, your head on the mat. And you can keep your right hand where it is on the mat. Or you could bring your right arm behind the back, behind the pelvis. Make sure you're not feeling pain in the neck. So you might require a little bit of activation in the neck, so you're not putting too much pressure on the neck. And breathe here a few times in and out. It's another twist. You could also feel this quite intensely in the inner leg on that right hand side. Again, avoid pain. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly bring that right hand back on the mat if you had it behind the back. And lift yourself back onto two hands. Now we're going to take that right leg and step the right foot to the top of the mat, so close to our hands. And this is where you could already bring a pillow, a cushion, or a bolster under your hands if you like. And we're going to stay in this dragon pose for a few breaths. I'm suggesting we make it a winged dragon, so opening the right hip, allowing the right leg to rotate slightly open. And you could either keep the weight on two hands, or if you like, you could bring your right hand to the inside of that right thigh. Just gently help the right leg to open, and maybe you open the foot as well, so that you're just leaning onto the outer edge of that right foot. But you're very welcome to keep both hands down as well. Take a few breaths here in and out. We continue to bring some gentle opening to that hip area. You might move a bit from side to side. And then slowly bring your pelvis tiny bit higher up, so that you could now bring your right shin in front of you into the pigeon pose. So opening the right hip even more and lowering the pelvis a bit further down. This is where a block or maybe a cushion under the right buttock or hip might be nice. You can bring your bolster or cushions in front of you. We're going to move down into the sleeping swan or sleeping pigeon. So lean your upper body forward. And I'm showing you this variation with the pillows, but you could also lean all the way down onto the floor, onto the mat. Looking for some gentle opening, maybe around that left hip, the front of the left hip, maybe in the right buttock, the right thigh. Let your upper body find as easy, as relaxed place as possible. So that's why the cushions, the bolster under the upper body can be quite nice, quite helpful. Let your chest, your shoulders become heavy. Let the breaths move all the way down towards the belly, towards the lower back. Take another breath in and out. And then when you feel ready, slowly bring your hands back onto the mat and bring yourself up from your pigeon, from your swan. If you have anything under the right hip, just move that prop aside and lean onto your right hip, your right buttock. We're going to bend that back leg and bring the left foot quite close to your left buttock. We'll find ourselves seated in a deer pose, so right shin in front, the left leg is bent behind you. And this is where you could take your pillows, your bolster now behind you. We're going to lean into a reclining deer. So we're looking for some opening in the front of the left thigh as we lean back and lean onto our props. You could lean your head down as well. If you have any extra props there and you need some more propping under the head, you can bring more support under the head. So trying to find a place where your upper body could stay soft. So you're not really leaning onto your arms, but you have those props there to support you. If there's any pain, any too much discomfort in the lower back, then adjust your props or lean a bit more onto your right side. So you're not going into a back bend, but it's more of a side bend, leaning onto your right. Or if that doesn't work either, you can release the legs from that deer shape. You can just extend your both legs if you feel that it's too much for your back or your knees to have the legs bent. So that for another few breaths, you could stay in this reclining pose. Breathing towards that chest space, breathing down towards the belly. Allowing the front side to open gently without stressing the back too much. Just take another breath in and out. Maybe a slightly deeper, bigger breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then slowly, slowly in your own time, lean onto your right elbow. So you lean to your right side to bring yourself up into a seat. You could release your legs from that deer shape and swing the knees from side to side a few times. Those windshield wipers. As we get ready to do the second side. So now, maybe turn towards your props that were behind you so that now they would be in front of you. As we find ourselves back on all fours and we go for that thread the needle on the other side. So move your props if needed and then extend your left leg out to the left, so your left side. And again, you could rock from forward to back. So rock forward and back a few times, just finding a place where it's good for your left leg. So there's no pain in that left leg, in that left hip. And then leave your left hand on the mat as you inhale and twist out to the right. Open the chest. And exhale, slide your right arm under the left arm. Lean your head down. And you could leave your left hand on the mat. You could also bring your left arm behind the back. So that we find, again, twist and opening across the chest. Maybe there are some sensations on the inner thigh in that left leg. And breathe here. Make sure you're not stressing your neck too much. You're not blocking the space for the breaths. Just let yourself find ease in these poses. There's no need to push. Let's take another breath in and out, and this thread the needle. And then if you have that left arm, left hand behind the back, just bring that left hand back down and lift yourself onto both hands. And we're going to continue by bringing that left foot in front of us or closer to the hands, looking for that winged dragon. So you can adjust the legs, maybe walk the left foot a bit further out to the side. And again, you could already here bring some support under the hands. It might make the pose a bit more comfortable. It gives you a bit more space for the upper body. You can let that left hip rotate open. Maybe the weight is just on the outer edge of that left foot. And just like on the first side, you have the option to bring left hand on the left thigh, if that's a nice support, if it helps to open through that left hip. But again, no pushing, no forcing. We're finding ease in our movements. At any point, you can decide to bring both hands back down. Take a few more breaths in and out. Trying to keep shoulders as soft as possible. And then we'll continue towards the pigeon or the swan pose. So now lift your pelvis a bit higher up and then bring your left shin in front of you on the mat so that you can lower your pelvis further down. Again, some propping under the left buttock would be welcome here if needed. You can bring more cushions, more pillows in front of you or have your bolster there so that we could then lean upper body forward into that sleeping swan, sleeping pigeon. And take pressure off the shoulders, take pressure off your arms, your neck. You could also use your own hands for the head. And just breathe here, in and out. Let your breaths move all the way down to the belly area. Take a couple more breaths in and out. And then after those couple of breaths, or when you would feel ready to come out of this pose, bring hands on the mat and help your back up, open the chest. And then again, if you have any props under the left buttock, move those props so they can lean onto your left hip and bend the back leg. At this point, it would be good to move your pillows, your bolster behind you. And we find that deer seat. So now the left shin stays in front of you. The right leg is bent, so the right foot is close to the right buttock. And we're going to lean into that reclining deer. So now, trying to look for some opening in the front of the right thigh. leaning back. So there could be a back bend, or again, you could lean more towards the left side, so it's more of a side bend. You can still adjust your legs. Make sure, again, there's no pain in the knees. There's no pain in the back. Find a place where your shoulders could soften. So you're using those props to take the pressure, take the weight off the arms, so that you can let yourself feel heavy, become heavy here. There's no need to put more effort in that is really needed. It's okay to make the practice easy for yourself. Notice if you could soften the neck a bit more. Are you holding tension in your jaw? Could you release the jaw as well? Give yourself a few more breaths in this reclining deer pose. And then after those few breaths, or when you feel ready to do so, slowly lean onto your left side, onto your left elbow, and bring yourself up into a seat. And again, you could release the legs, bring legs in front of you and swing the legs from side to side. And then staying in a seat, bring the soles of the feet either together or just turn them towards each other. We're going to go into a forward bending butterfly pose. So have your legs in a loose shape. You could have some pillows here under the knees, under the thighs, or you could have a cushion in front of you or a bolster in front of you. And just slowly lean into a gentle forward bend. Nothing too much. If needed, you could support your head, maybe your hands or a bolster, a pillow under the head. And send your breaths down and up along your spine. Breathing towards that back side. You might still adjust the angles in your knees and your hips. And again, let the shoulders soften. Let your arms soften. Let even your hands soften as much as possible. Notice where in your body you could let go of tension. Releasing the effort that you don't need right now. Give yourself a few more breaths in and out. Each exhalation softening that effort. Each in-breath creating a bit more space inside the body.
And then after your few breaths, or when you feel ready, slowly, with the help of your hands and arms, bring yourself back up into a seat.
Just gently open the chest. And you can move your props aside. And in your own time, lean to lie down on the back. So going back to where we started from, still have some props nearby when you come lying down on the back. Take a few breaths in and out and bring your knees to bend. So bring your feet on the mat, arms resting next to your sides. We'll do a few gentle lifts into a bridge pose. So have your feet gently pressing down. And as you inhale, elevate your pelvis, your back slightly off the mat. Just a very gentle bridge. And then exhale, release back down. And just notice how much effort you want to put into this pose. Same again, as you inhale, lift your pelvis, your back slightly off the mat. And exhale, release back down. 2 more times with your own breath. Inhale, elevate the pelvis, the back off the mat. And exhale, release down, just giving some movement after those quite long poses we've had. Once more, inhaling, opening through the front. And exhale, releasing down. If you then feel that you want to hug the knees in, you are very welcome to do that. Our next pose will be Shavasana pose, our final Shavasana pose. So you decide where you would like to rest. Do you want to bring props under your legs? Maybe cushions, a bolster under the knees, under the thighs. That might make the pose more comfortable for your lower back or hips. Let your legs find a natural rotation. So if legs want to be wider apart, rotate open, allow that. And then in your Shavasana pose, bring your full awareness back to your breath. Now we've done some movements, we've done some poses. It's time to rest. You might observe whether you feel more or less tired now. But again, make all those observations without any judgment. Not expecting yourself to feel a certain way, just honestly observing how you feel now in your body and in your mind. I would encourage you to stay in your Shavasana pose a bit longer. I'm going to leave you here and thank you very much for joining in the practice. So I suggest you give yourself some time in your Shavasana pose. Let your body find that full rest that it might need today. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you.